want to thank Emil, Lynn, and really all of TAKREEM. And you know, I was here last night. It was a wonderful event. The award ceremony, the levels of innovation, and some of the thoughts were, I'm going, I need to speak to these people because they've got to come to some of the things that we do. But let me just give you a little bit about Octane. Octane is an end-to-end ecosystem. And we really look at things that are in medical technology, both pharma, biotech, and device, and pure technology. We focus on creating content for those. We focus on community. We focus on innovation and then the execution of that innovation. And what I mean by that is that the content that we provide is educational type content, but it's also how to start a business. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today with the esteemed group that I have up here. We talk about giving back to the community, and specifically Orange County. We're Southern California based, but we're really centric in Orange County. And we want to talk and really relay to this audience, you know, it's such a great place to start a business, to build a business, to sustain a business. We talk about innovation, and innovation means many, many things, but we see probably 500 to 600 ideas a year. And it's tough telling people that their idea is just never going to make it to something big. But we end up working with 65 companies on average each year and developing them into going entities from that standpoint. And then what's really important is the execution aspect, helping them raise capital, but then really helping them gain a wild concept for a startup, but customers, you know, customers that pay, not necessarily running to the next round of funding. So, you know, I'm proud of what I've done. Andy, you said you got the greatest job in the world. I'm number two then, right behind you, you know, and I love what I do, but you know, but a lot of it is really in helping people's dreams come true, and seeing that every day. So with that, I'm going to sit down and turn it over to our group here, and I want to start with Jeff Wolf at the end here, and Jeff's the CEO of Veloce Energy and a sustainability company, and you're in Series A right now, is that correct? From that standpoint. Yeah. But what I'd really like is for each of the participants here to talk a little bit about their company, what it does, the industry that they're in, and then we'll have a little bit of a roundtable here and a discussion. So Jeff, lead us off.
Great, thanks Bill. It's great, I really appreciate the support Octane's given us. Really helped us refine our pitch, refine our product, how we go to market and such. So it's been a great assistance there. And I appreciate being on the stage here today with you, Bill. So Veloce is creating a hardware and software infrastructure platform to make it easier, faster, and cheaper to install EV charging and other new intermittent loads on the electric grid as we electrify everything. It's a little hard to explain the concept because it crosses how to work with the utility grid, how to do construction, and how to control energy. We're taking all those tasks underway because we need to simplify all of them, make all of them productized and easy to deploy so we can accelerate the amount of electric vehicle charging we can do to meet the growing demand as the manufacturers put out more and more vehicles. $500 billion is being put into vehicle manufacturing. We need to marry that with hundreds of billions of dollars of infrastructure for EV charging. So we're making that easier and faster. We've early commercialized now, we're beginning to ramp up. And why Southern California? I mean, Southern California has the biggest concentration of EV charging, electric vehicles coming, I should say. A lot of incentives, so very pro charging state government, good incentives, good policies, and a lot of customers to serve. So what a great place to be. And then we're also delighted, I should say, at this event, we're delighted to be welcoming our first Arab American employee and our first PhD onto our staff on Monday. But prior to that, I should note that Dr. Kern is an early stage investor in the company as well. So we already have ties into the community, which we very much appreciate. And we are raising a Series A, as Bill mentioned. We've got, hopefully, knock on wood here, hopefully final documentation done Monday or Tuesday, and then syndicating another $4 million beyond what we're raising then. Look forward to chatting more about it.
That's great. That's great, Jeff. And One of the things that we do is we also manage, or general partner in 2 funds, one that focuses on climate and sustainability, and I think we made an investment in Veloce, and the other, Sasha could talk about in a moment, that focuses on ophthalmology or medical aesthetics. So maybe moving along, Brian, CEO and founder of Telesair, tell us a little bit about your company and why you're in Orange County.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, Telesair is an Octane company. Actually, we started working with Octane even before we founded the company. We are located in center of the Orange County, Irvine, California. Our vision is to change the standard of respiratory care, to help a lot of patients out of hospital earlier and stay at home longer and safe. Remember, even today after the COVID, we still have over 2 million patients admitted to hospital every year because different respiratory distress. If we can help them out of hospital even 1 day earlier, that will save the society and the healthcare system over $20 billion. So in Telesair, with the best team in respiratory care, we are developing a series of products with disruptive technologies, including the new material, sensor and sensor fusion technologies, the automation in respiratory care, as well as artificial intelligence combined with telemedicine. Actually, recently, I just went to the Arab House at the end of the last month to meet our partners over there for the launch of our first generation product outside of the US. Currently, we are just complete our Series A fundraising with over $22 million by the end of 2022. With the fund, we are going to speed up our product development for the second generation breast robot, as well as the regulatory approval process. Now we have over 20 employees located in Irvine, California. We have probably made all of our product in the US, and we are seeking additional funds probably later this year to help us to speed up the product launch in the US and Europe. And why we started in Orange County, of course, we are the Octane company, but on top of it, with the help of Octane, actually Orange County gave us a lot of opportunity to recruit the best team in the medical field, including R&D, regulatory, commercializations, as well as manufacture. Also, this central location of Orange County gave us the flexibility to expand the business in the future, like in the surrounding area, including the bigger manufacturers, larger headquarters, as well as logistics centers. So I'm so glad to have the opportunity today to share my experience and also really appreciate Octane's support along all these years.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. And you know, what we really see in an ecosystem is the necessity for a great university infrastructure, and we have that really across Southern California. The access to investors, the access to growth resources, and really serial entrepreneurs, many of which you're seeing up here right now, that have done this time and time again, whether it's in a bigger company or a smaller company. I'd like to skip over here to Fabian, who is the CEO of Mobix Labs, who's in the process of de-SPACing right now. So, with an asterisk, right?
with an asterisk.
And Fabian's company is a 5G company, so we're moving from climate to medical device to 5G now.
5G, yes, which is probably more pervasive in our lives than what is immediately obvious. But first, let me add my thanks to Bill and his wonderful team at Octane. They're great people. We're very proud to be associated with them. We like him so much, we've invited him to join our board, which he graciously accepted, so we thank you for that, Bill. What we do, we're a semiconductor company. We are developing solutions for 5G, the more advanced side of 5G. Where we're at today in telecommunication technology, as I mentioned earlier, it is so pervasive in our lives. If you think about the way we do our everyday tasks, whether it's the way we work, the way we educate, the way we entertain, the way we communicate, the way we manufacture. And you're seeing more use cases here which create even greater demands on what we have today with 4G LTE and just the very beginning of 5G. You saw and heard some great use cases today. There was discussions on AI, and if you think about autonomous vehicles and telemedicine and remote surgery, all those great applications and use cases are going to put even greater demands on bandwidth, and you're going to hear things on such as coverage and latency, which is an elegant way of describing how you initiate a task and how quickly it comes back. It's a real challenge to be able to solve these problems. And what we've done is we have a group of innovative designers and business leaders who have a great track record of solving these advanced applications. And as a matter of fact, we are showcasing our most recent advancement, our breakthrough device, which we announced last week and will be showcasing at Barcelona this coming week at Mobile World Congress. The team itself, the leadership team comes from a company called Microsemi, which you might be aware of, another Orange County-based company, which was very successful. That group came together at Microsemi in year 2000 when it was relatively low-tech company, a micro-cap type company, and grew the company and exited in 2018 when it was acquired by Microchip at an enterprise value of greater than $10 billion. And I was just sharing with Bill earlier today an interesting metric that had you invested $1 million in that leadership team in year 2000, you would have exited 2018 with 135 million, so 135x return, which we're very proud of, and we're executing the same strategy and the same playbook here at Mobix Labs. We're about 2 years old now, a little over 2 years old. We've been funded privately. We're in the process, as Bill was mentioning, going through a de-SPACing process. We anticipate having our S4 filing on Monday of next week with an effective date or an IPO date of somewhere in the May-June timeframe.
Yeah, and you know, I think what's interesting is we talk about serial entrepreneurs. You've got a group, you've got a team that's serial value creators, you know, from that standpoint. So, Sasha, let's move to yourself. I mean, you are a company that our fund made an investment in, as many others did. But you've done an IPO about 2 years ago, I think. And you know, tell us a little about Tarsus, which is more in the pharmaceutical side, and you know, the resurgence of that type of an industry in Orange County.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everyone, and what a beautiful venue here. So Tarsus
This is pretty special.
Absolutely, yeah. Tarsus is a biotech company. It was founded with a vision to find a therapy for an unmet medical need. It's an eyelid disease, eyelid inflammation. And Tarsus was really focused to find a unique approach to this unmet need. There's no treatment, and it's actually highly prevalent. I think all of us will have some form of eyelid inflammation. It is actually caused by mites that actually live on us, and it's found to be infesting at least about 25 million Americans who have this disease. And so Tarsus was founded in Orange County in Irvine in 2017 with an idea to find a solution, find a cure, and that's exactly what we did. We have now a molecule that we have developed, and it's actually under FDA review. Hopefully will be approved sometime this year and will be available to patients later this year. The eyelid health, eyelid is a huge component of our eye, and eyelid health, we think, is a gateway for everything that has to do with the eye. And it's also very much underappreciated. Not many people focus on the eyelid, so we actually really focus on eyelid health. In fact, our name Tarsus comes from an eyelid muscle called tarsal muscle. So it's really focused on eyelids. And why did we found the company in Orange County? And we think Orange County we call Orange County the epicenter of ophthalmology. It has a storied history. Allergan was founded 70 years ago, and really the founder, Gavin Herbert, also started the Gavin Herbert Eye Center at UCI, and it's always been that hotbed of ophthalmology with medical devices and pharmaceuticals. And so it was natural for us, as we focused on the eyelid condition, to start the company there. And we were founded in 2017, and we were privately funded initially. We went through Series A and Series B, and then in 2020, right in the middle of COVID, we made a bold decision to go public with literally 15 people in the company. And it was quite an experience, and we have since grown, and it's been very rewarding. And one of the things we always talk about is that the support in Orange County, the thought leaders, the investors, and the talent that we can get in Orange County is unparalleled, especially in eye care. And along with the organizations such as Octane and UCI has a very good, and USC as well has very good centers of eye care research. That really provides us as a network of talent and thought leaders that we can easily bank on. And why would we live in Orange County? It's a fantastic place to live. And our founder actually has a Middle Eastern background. He's actually his dad is actually from Iran. So it's we have a very diverse group, and we really are thriving to get to the place where we can actually launch a product this year.
You know, and I know Andy before mentioned culture and how important culture is, and you know, I think from an Orange County standpoint, the company that I've always admired is Edwards Life Sciences. I've admired the CEO. I've admired the leadership that nobody ever says, I'm doing this because Mike Masalam wants me to. I'm doing it because it's the right thing. And you know, I just want to pay tribute to Tarsus, because I think Tarsus is the up and coming top type of cultural type company in Orange County. The hires that you've made over the past year are just terrific. You know, we've got a little bit over 5 minutes left here, and you know, as we thought about this, it's really, what could we give the audience here? I mean, we've got entrepreneurs out here, we've got so many different people that'll be watching this filmed, but between the entrepreneurs and the investors, what word of advice would you give to somebody that wants to start something today?
I mean, in terms of start something, I've started a few things, and I've always done something that I'm passionate about, because when you do a startup, you're going to work harder than you probably think you're going to work, and probably harder than you've worked at anything else before. And so if you don't want to do it, if it's not the thing you want to spend an awful lot of waking hours on, don't do it. Find something else. Follow your passion. The rewards will come.
Brian?
Actually, I totally agree. This is the first time for me to start a company from scratch, from the idea. I always think it's never the job I would imagine, but it's really rewarding, especially for our Series A fundraising. We started at the middle of the war in Ukraine erupted. All the economy kind of feel very gloomy back then, but based on our founding team and also with the help of Octane, we met so many investors, successfully complete this round. There's so many work, but another thing I want to mention, as earlier mentioned, like we started the MedTech company in Orange County not only because we have the access to a lot of investors and entrepreneurs here, but also we have many big hospitals here. Our medical advisors are from UCI, UCSD, USC, and we have a very close connection just next door to us, the Hope Hospital, the best private hospital group in California, as well as many other big hospitals. So that's why Orange County is a really great place to start the MedTech. We have both the connection with investors, and also we have a lot of discussion with our medical advisor, and as well as many other doctors and patients in this area. So this gives us a great advantage here.
Yeah, and you know, you were just talking about the university ecosystem, and for those of you that are not as familiar with Southern California, the university ecosystem here throughout Los Angeles, Orange County, San Diego, graduates more engineers than any other ecosystem in the country. So, you know, think of that for a moment, the access to talent, if you're starting a company here, what you have at your fingertips. So, Sasha, maybe you know, a little bit again from your perspective in starting a company?
Yeah, so obviously passion is a fuel.
Because you made a big leap from Allergan to a startup,
I did,
right?
yeah. So I never worked in a startup company. I was always in a big pharma, big company. But I think passion definitely drives it. But also, I think a key to success, especially when you start up, is differentiate yourself. Don't follow the leaders. Don't follow. You know, you have to be different. You have to innovate differently, and you have to make yourself stand out. And that's one of the key things I look for when I decided to go to a smaller company. Tarsus was completely out of the box thinking. I mean, no other company had done what Tarsus did. And one example is we actually found our drug from a veterinary space. So our drug is actually marketed for dogs and cats for flea and tick infestation. And that's where we found it's most unlikeliest of places companies go hunting for drugs. So it's those little things that matter. Solutions come from anywhere, and you have to keep your eyes wide open and differentiate. I think that's the key, one of the big keys for success, especially at a startup.
Thanks. And Fabian, you came out of a big company. This is your first CEO role. I mean, walk us through that and
my first startup.
And your first startup.
Yeah. Well, the common thread here is having a passion. If you don't have a passion, don't even start. Don't even try. I did retire after we sold Micro Semi, and I felt like I needed a sense of something to feel good about at the end of each day, something to accomplish, and that's what drove me, and that's what drives our team. There's definitely the peaks and valleys are they're much higher and much lower. I thought of an interview of Elon Musk had where he was asked, what's it like to do a startup company? And he said, well, it's like eating glass and staring down the abyss, right? So I understand how you could, the sense of sometimes feeling overwhelmed as you're trying to, you're embarking on a mission to accomplish something. But passion, I think going back to passion, you really have to have a passion to accomplish and making the world a better place. And I think that wireless communications and the things we're doing at Mobix Labs are going to really improve a lot of these wonderful use cases that we're talking about now.
Boom. We are at zero. But anyway, do we have time for one question or so? Or? One question.
One question.
Emil.
I'm going to go from you to you, because I was that, and I was you when I went public. And how do you, are you there already fighting the battle with the public market, because you're going to get there? And how do you make sure that that culture stays true when you're actually answering to somebody who doesn't have a clue about your business?
Creating that culture and finding the right fit. I think part of what we do is we spend a lot of time on the culture. And when you say culture is defining who we are. And really one of the first things it's almost a mantra when we come in, and it could be a cliche, some may look at it as a cliche, but we always say patient first. Everything we do is patient first. So the motivation is patient, not getting the product out, not getting the approval, not answering FDA, but it's patient first. So that is a big picture culture. The second big picture is talent can come from anywhere. It doesn't have to be of a certain kind, of a certain geographical location or certain way of doing things. So diversity is a huge part, and inclusion is a huge part of what we do. So we define these two things very early. And then when we hired the people who actually, when we hired, most people look for, okay, what can they do? Do they have the skills to do it? That's a lowest common denominator, really. Bill and I were talking about this, absolutely low. I think that's not enough. That's necessary, but that's not enough. What we call is a motivational fit. So we actually look for motivational fit. Do you want to work at Tarsus, and why do you want to work at Tarsus? And we actually screen people, and we've actually rejected people who were fairly, highly rated from a technical strength, but if you don't have motivational fit, there is no fit. So I think we really place some emphasis on that.
Okay, well, thank you very much, okay?